possibilities, but you have absolutely no idea which direction to even take that first step.
Oh, definitely. It's something so many people experience, that kind of adrift feeling.
Yeah. And if that's where you are right now, take a breath. You are definitely not alone, not behind.
It's a really common experience, absolutely, that sense of being unmoored, especially when you're facing these big decisions about, your professional life or academic stuff. The sheer volume of choices can feel overwhelming.
It really can. Knowing where to even start is often the biggest hurdle.
Exactly.
Well, today we're diving deep into a concept that might just act as a real compass in those moments. It's this fascinating Japanese idea called ikigai.
IKIGAI, yeah.
Think of it as your personal reason for being, right? That intrinsic motivation, that thing that genuinely makes you look forward to getting out of bed each day.
And what's so compelling about Ikigai, I think, is that it's not just one single thing. It's more like a convergence, the sweet spot where four key elements kind of come together.
Four elements, okay.
Yeah, it's the intersection of, first, what you genuinely love to do.
Yeah.
Second, what you happen to be good at. Third, what the world actually needs from you. And fourth, crucially, what you can also get paid for.
Right. Love, good at, world needs, paid for.
Got it. Discovering that central point, that intersection, it can be truly transformative. It gives you direction, meaning.
And to really explore this idea, we're looking today at the work of Dr. Mandeep Saini. He's an author who has written a book really delving into the power of Ikigai, particularly how it relates to navigating your career path, maybe even pinpointing a research area that truly resonates.
Yes, and Dr. Saini's own life journey offers a compelling illustration of this whole concept in action.
Well, really, tell us about that.
Well, after moving to the UK, he found himself working in quite a variety of roles. I mean, things like working in cinemas, stadiums. He was a senior resident in student accommodation, also worked as a personal tutor.
Wow, that's quite a mix. Cinemas and stadiums to tutoring.
It really paints a picture, doesn't it? You can imagine him navigating all those different environments. It almost sounds like he was on a quest, maybe not even consciously at first, just trying to find where he truly fit.
Yeah, searching.
Exactly. And apparently, it wasn't until he started working more closely with students, offering guidance and support, that things really began to click for him.
Well,
He realized that helping students was something he genuinely loved. It sparked a real passion. Plus, he discovered he had a natural ability for it, a knack for coaching, for mentoring.
so the love and good at parts were lining up.
Precisely. And then he recognized a clear need for this kind of support among students. So there's the world needs element. And importantly, it also provided a way for him to earn a living, the paid-for aspect.
So all four elements just converged around teaching and guiding students.
Exactly. And he describes that realization, that moment where those four elements snapped into place, as a really profound turning point. It wasn't just about having a job anymore. It tapped into something much, much deeper for him, more meaningful.
That makes so much sense. And that's really the core message we want to explore today, isn't it?
It is. Dr. Saini's experience highlights that maybe instead of immediately feeling pressure to identify the perfect research topic or the ideal career straight away, maybe the more powerful first step is to look inward.
To try and identify your own Ikigai first.
Yes, to find that central point for yourself.
Because, like Dr. Seni suggests in his book, the research topic you end up choosing, it doesn't have to be the most popular thing or the one with all the funding. What truly matters is that it holds personal significance for you.
That it connects with that deeper sense of purpose.
Yeah.
And the good news is the book provides a very practical, very structured way to start this internal exploration.
Right.
Dr. Saini introduces what he calls the IKIGAI self-discovery worksheet. It's basically a tangible tool to help you map out those four intersecting elements in your own life.
A worksheet. Okay, I like practical tools. So for you listening right now, this worksheet could be a really valuable starting point.
Yeah.
What's the first step?
The first step Dr. Saini recommends is taking a few moments of quiet reflection. He suggests finding a comfortable spot, closing your eyes gently, taking maybe 3 or 5 slow, deep breaths. Inhale, exhale.
Just centering yourself a bit.
Exactly. Then he advises focusing your attention sort of gently on your forehead, right between your eyebrows.
Okay.
This initial exercise, it's really just about creating a little mental space, quieting the internal chatter and starting to tune into your own thoughts, your aspirations.
Makes sense.
Then what? Following that, he suggests spending maybe 2 or 3 minutes vividly visualizing what you would genuinely love to be doing in about 2 years' time.
2 years. Okay, visualizing the future. What if your mind wanders? I know mine does.
That's perfectly normal. He actually mentions that. If your mind wanders, just gently guide your focus back to that desired future scenario. And if you find it hard to concentrate at first, don't get discouraged. Just maybe take a short break and try again.
Right, persistence.
The key is just to try and build a reasonably clear mental picture of where you see yourself, professionally or academically.
Okay, so you have this mental picture.
Yeah.
What's next on the worksheet?
Right. Once you have that future picture, the worksheet gives you 5 guiding questions. Each one is specifically designed to help you uncover one of those core IKIGAI elements, but related to that vision you just created.
5 questions tied to the vision. Okay, what's the first one?
The first is, what skills do you need for your future? So this pushes you to think about the specific abilities, the knowledge that would be essential for now to actually succeed in that role or activity you visualize 2 years from now.
Okay, practical skills needed. What's number 2?
Number 2 gets into passion. What skills you love. This is all about identifying those activities you just genuinely enjoy. Things you find yourself doing even if nobody asked you to or paid you. What makes you lose track of time?
Like maybe you love solving puzzles or explaining complicated things simply.
Exactly. Or maybe organizing events or writing code or whatever it is for you. Then building on that, the third question is, what skills you're good at?
Okay, so this is about talent, aptitude.
Yes, your inherent talents. What seems to come naturally? What do people always tell you you're good at? Where do you pick things up easily? Maybe it's that organizing skill again, or maybe connecting with people.
Right, so needed skills, love skills, skills you're good at. What's 4?
Number 4 broadens the view. Does the world need these skills? This gets you thinking about the problems or unmet needs out there, in your community maybe, or even globally. How could the skills you enjoy or are developing actually contribute?
So connecting your personal stuff to a wider context makes sense.
Yeah. Are there challenges you feel particularly drawn to solving? And finally, number 5, the really practical one. Can you be paid for these skills?
Ah, the money question.
Yep. Exploring potential careers, job roles, maybe even starting your own thing. Where could your passions and skills actually be financially sustainable? What's the market value?
Okay, those are 5 really solid questions. Needed, loved, good at, world needs, paid for.
And Dr. Saini really stresses answering these with complete honesty. It's not about right or wrong answers. The goal is just clarity, a truthful look at where you are and where you genuinely want to go.
So you answer the questions honestly. Then what?
Then comes a really crucial stage, reflection. Once you've answered those 5 questions thoughtfully, he encourages you to step back and look for the connections, the overlaps.
Where do they intersect?
Exactly. What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Where do they meet in your answers? And importantly, for maybe some listeners, can you see a research project that could realistically help you move closer to that sweet spot, that intersection?
Can you give us his example again, just to make it concrete?
Sure. So when Dr. Sainin visualized himself working as a lecturer, he applied these questions. For what skills do you need? He identified things like public speaking, deep subject knowledge, effective teaching methods.
Okay.
Then, for what skills you love, his answers were things like coaching, training, mentoring others, activities that clearly brought him satisfaction.
Right. The enjoyable stuff.
And interestingly, for what skills you're good at, he listed the same things. Coaching, training, mentoring.
So a direct overlap between love and good at. That's powerful.
It's a significant indicator, yeah. Then, does the world need these skills? He answered yes, thinking about educators in universities, colleges, industry.
The need is clear.
And finally, can you be paid for these skills? Again, a clear yes in the context of being a lecturer.
Okay, seeing his example really helps understand how the worksheet functions.
Definitely. It illuminates those connections, but the self-assessment in the book, it doesn't actually stop there. He also includes a scoring sheet.
A scoring sheet, like rating the skills.
Exactly. As a further tool for evaluation, you take those key skills, you identify the ones relevant to your vision, and you score each one.
Yep.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Across different categories.
Yes, 4 distinct categories. The first row is, how much do I love the skill? That's your passion score.
Okay.
Second row, how good am I or could I realistically become at this skill? That relates to vocation.
Right, potential proficiency.
Third row, how likely am I to get paid well for this skill? That's the profession element.
The financial viability.
And the final row, how much will this skill ultimately benefit the world? Which aligns with your sense of mission.
Love, good at potential, paid well, benefit world. 4 scores per skill.
Exactly. So, using his own example again, pursuing that lecturer role in supply chains, he might consider skills like, say, public speaking, supply chain knowledge, and research abilities. For public speaking, maybe he gives himself a 9 for love it, maybe only a 5 for good at currently, but acknowledging potential. Then perhaps a 9 for paid well as a lecturer, and another 9 for benefit world through teaching.
So that's 9,599 for public speaking. What's the total? 32.
Right. And then he'd do the same scoring for supply chain knowledge and for research skills.
And how do you interpret these scores? What does that total of 32 mean?
Well, Dr. Saini offers some guidelines. He suggests any skill scoring between 5 and 8 in any individual category is definitely worth considering further. But importantly, if the total score for a skill across all 4 categories adds up to more than 20.
Like the 32 for public speaking.
Exactly. That's a strong indicator that this is a skill really worth developing.
Take over 20 total is a green light. Any red flags?
Yes. He also emphasizes paying close attention if a skill scores below a 5 in either the first row, the passion, how much you love it, or the third row, profession, the potential to get paid well.
Ah, so low love or low pay potential. Maybe reconsider focusing heavily there.
That seems to be the suggestion. A low score in either of those might mean that while the skill could be useful, maybe it shouldn't be your absolute primary focus for your IKIGAI.
That's really practical advice. But what about research? People starting out might not be good at research yet or see immediate pay.
That's a great point. And Dr. Sakini addresses this beautifully. He makes the point that a research project itself can be the vehicle for cultivating those skills you're passionate about.
Ah, so research isn't just the outcome, it's part of the development process.
Exactly. Think of your PhD or your research project as the perfect opportunity to actively develop those crucial skills. Maybe ones where your good at score is currently low, but your love and potential scores are high. It can guide you towards that fulfilling career aligned with your IKIGAI.
So the framework isn't just a snapshot, it's dynamic. Research can help you build towards your Ikigai.
Absolutely. This whole IKIGAI framework isn't just some, theoretical exercise. It has very real, practical applications for your career development starting now. Well, by consciously identifying roles or opportunities that sit more squarely in that intersection, passion, skills, world, needs, pay, you can start making much more intentional choices. Purposeful career moves.
And for finding a research area too, presumably.
Definitely. It's an equally powerful tool there. Think about it. The what you love and what the world needs aspects. They can be incredible sparks for generating research ideas that are not only fascinating to you, but also address significant relevant issues.
So research that feels meaningful on both levels.
Precisely. Then, considering what you're good at helps you leverage your existing strengths in your research, gives you a foundation.
It makes the starting point feel less daunting.
And while, immediate big bucks might not be the main driver in academic research, thinking about what you can be paid for down the line adds that important layer of practicality. It helps you consider future career paths your research could open up.
So it helps you think long-term about the research impact on your career.
Right, it connects the dots.
So overall, it really sounds like Dr. Sani's book offers this remarkably practical and well-structured approach, especially for that often complex, sometimes overwhelming process of self-discovery when you're trying to figure out a career or choose a research path.
I think what's so valuable about his approach is how it shifts the focus away from external pressures like what's trendy or what seems to get the most funding and towards a much more internal compass.
Finding your own true north, so to speak.
Kind of, yeah. It's about intentionally aligning your deepest desires and your inherent talents with the genuine needs of the world, and crucially, your own ability to create a sustainable and fulfilling life.
So if someone listening is thinking, yes, that feeling of being lost,
Yeah.
or adrift in my career, that's me right now. Why should they specifically consider picking up Dr. Sani's book? What's the big draw?
Because it provides that much needed structure, but in a deeply personal way to gain real clarity. It's not just, another self-help book with vague advice.
Right.
Dr. Sani offers concrete tools, that self-discovery worksheet, the scoring sheet that actively guides you in exploring your unique Ikigai. It's really about empowering you to find a path that isn't just defined by, say, traditional success metrics, but one that feels profoundly meaningful and truly sustainable for you for the long haul.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond that staring at a blank page feeling, isn't it? By first taking the time to understand what genuinely motivates you at your core.
Yeah. If we just step back and look at the bigger picture here, this whole journey of finding your Ikigai, it's really about designing a life, designing a career that feels deeply aligned with your values, your passions. Ultimately, it's about discovering and living your purpose.
That's a powerful thought to end on, discovering and living your purpose.
Hmm.
So as you, the listener, go about the rest of your day, maybe just consider this. What tiny, small initial step could you take today,
Hmm.
just today, to begin exploring those questions that Dr. Sini poses in his Ikigai framework?
Just a little exploration.
Yeah. What initial mental images pop up when you even just briefly think about your ideal future? And what resonates most strongly right now when you consider those four elements? What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for.
Where do you feel pull?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Just ponder,
Uh-huh.
how could intentionally bringing those elements together, even just in your thinking for now, how might that unlock a more deeply